Good morning. My name's Trisha, and I have this YouTube channel called Exploring the Paranormal with Trisha Brown. And today I want to, and what I do on the channel is I talk about my paranormal experiences that I've had throughout my life. And it's an ongoing thing. And my first experience happened that I can remember was when I was the age that you are when you go from your crib to your first bed. So somewhere in that time frame, it could have been when I was 2.5, 3, somewhere in there was when I had my first. It's called like paranormal. So I say paranormal because a lot of people refer to it as that. I don't know how else to describe it. Definitely unique experience that was seeing beyond just the five physical senses, seeing into the astral realm. There's different ways of explaining, how it works. So anyways, I just, wanted to share sort of a hello, this is who I am if you've just all of a sudden come upon my video. And also, so you know, if you decide to watch my other videos, I have my hair is always like, a lot of times I just decide in the moment I feel like doing a video, and I didn't take the time to blow dry my hair, or brush it, or change and wear something really cute and all that. I just feel at the moment when I feel like inspired to share. And there's my bird Manny in the background. Say hi, Manny. I don't know if she'll turn her head. So I have a camper, and I have a really great RV spot in the RV park. And so I've been doing the camper thing full time in my camper spot. I don't travel around with it. I just stay in the one spot. I found a place that you can live here full time, and I'm totally loving it. And so my plan is to rent out, like, well, right now, for me, it's the best little healing sanctuary. It's I have it all full of stuff and all my things and my stuff, and I'm still kind of in the process of finding the right, like, shelvings and things, bookcases or whatever stuff to add to the little spaces so I can put my books. And as you see, I have some just stacked up right there, and in different spots. Up there is my toaster oven, and just I love it. I am loving my space. I have books everywhere, and pictures, and all my living, there's the kitchen, there's the other part of the camper. And so just wanted to share a little bit of background. Another thing too is I feel like I'm having this sort of like rebellious thing about me feeling like I don't want to have to dress up and put makeup on, and so that someone will like me. I have this thing where I want people to like me even when I look like this. I think I look just fine without I mean, and then also too, I want to say that I am working through my own sort of, we all have our things, we all have our you know things we've gone through in life, things we've experienced and overcome, and working through and recovering from, and some things will be a lifetime practice, and other things are worked through and then you move on. So we're all in our own spots. No one's perfect. We all have our humanness that we're at. And one of my things, I'm just going to be honest, because you're going to see my videos where I'm like, I've noticed that it seems that more recent years, this could just be me noticing, and it could be just have gone on the whole time in life, but it feels like more people are wearing like foundation and more makeup than they used to. maybe in the earlier years. You guys can tell me what you think. I mean, I do remember coming upon women who wore makeup, and I just felt like I didn't I didn't really need to. I didn't want to. I mean, some lip gloss, colored lip gloss, the occasional like eyeliner and mascara. And if I was really going all out, I would do, the eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, maybe some blush and some lip gloss, colored lip gloss. Do my hair, all that stuff. It's just that on a regular basis, I feel like I'm getting more used to just presenting myself every day in that way. And I just, it's something I'm getting used to. I just have always been super natural and liked, appreciated people liking me for who I am without like being under, makeup and stuff like that. So um, I grew up with a mom that she was definitely like bipolar. And so there were times where she was the good mom who would make sure I would get to go and do all the doctor's appointments and taking care of me physically and all that. But then she had a side to her that was really mean, and she would say really mean things to me, like out of the blue. Like, just you'd be walking through the house and all of a sudden she'd just spew mean comments, about me out of nowhere. And it was just like, whoa. And so the day, back when I was, gosh, I'm going to say I was 13 or so. And it was, 1983. And, when you're that age, the wanting to experiment with your hair and wearing makeup and your clothes and who are you and who do you want to be, as far as your just, experimenting with your looks and, stuff like that. And it was sort of that punk thing going on and the different bright colors and the blues and the bright pinks and the blues and purples and all that. So I was in the back bathroom. We had like a longer house, and so there was a bathroom way on the other side of the house that was attached to the laundry room at the end of the house. So I was in that bathroom. It was just sort of a half bath, and I was just totally enjoying myself, putting on eyeshadow, the blue eyeshadow, and wearing, I don't know, putting mascara on and, all the stuff like blush and lipstick and stuff. And from behind me, she came up behind me and said, like in a really nasty tone, "You look like a streetwalker," and then just like walked away. And I had no idea what that was, but it didn't seem like a good thing. And so it definitely is one of in my, interest in my, personal and spiritual growth. It's something that I work on is that background of that voice, and not just the voice, but what it, like me wearing makeup, it really kind of had a not good attachment to it. I can, it's like it just takes me right to that moment and just the feeling of discomfort, when it's really supposed to make you feel more enhanced in yourself, the fun of decorating your body. So I just want to share that so you understand when you're getting to know me a little bit and why I look the way I do. I sometimes feel like, and I've had some bad experiences with people. I've had really, really good experiences with the spirit world. Mostly. I mean, I have a few experiences that I will be sharing that were like more on the darker energies, the lower vibes. But for the most part in my life, they've been all super helpful experiences, way at the top of the energy realms of beings connecting with me, archangels, angels, spirit guides. And then the more of my more recent years, me realizing that the Sasquatch people have been around me for a lot of my life, have let me know that they're there. And the more that I've recognized and learned about them, oh, look, there's Manny. Hi, Manny. So anyways, I'm rambling about this. I just wanted to share some more about me. And so saying all that, I'm not going to be saying all this in every single one of my videos, but I am going to sort of give a little intros in my videos, so that if you're a first time listening or watching, that you kind of learn about me a little bit, so you have some context. So I went to spiritual study school. I started this particular spiritual study school in North Georgia. I started in September, 2015. And it was, for me, a big reason why I went at the beginning was because, for one, to develop my mediumship abilities so that I could, and like my inner senses, so that I could use them. I've realized since I was really little, I realized a long time ago that I had extrasensory perception. And you don't really hear it called that as much, but it just means that your senses are really heightened. And not only that, but that there are various, like, so many various ways to have experiences with using, just the way our body, the way our human apparatus works. We have our 5 physical senses, and then we have our 6th sense, the intuition side, and then how all that works and all the different ways that you may experience this whole universe, the physical dimensions and the non-physical dimensions. There's just a lot to see and experience, that it's just here all the time. And so I wanted to study about that and how the senses work, and see if, at the time I was like thinking, how may I be able to use my abilities on purpose, for fun, yes, to connect with spirit, to help me in my life, to help others, to enjoy animals and the world around me, to enjoy nature, all that. And so I've done a whole lot of studying and gathering information and applying teachings from numerous spiritual teachers, people who are in the healthy psychology realm of teaching, relationship stuff, interpersonal skills, and all sorts of different realms of, like, how may I, in a healthy way, and then like energy work. So more of why I went to spiritual study school, so continuing to develop my inner senses, mediumship training, and also to heal and recover from a lot of years of not good experiences from my family and from others in the world, other people stuff. And so this school is a healing sanctuary where you go to there's many energy healing modalities, and I learned many energy healing modalities. I'm certified now in many different energy healing modalities. One of them is called color and sound therapy, and further developed my inner senses understanding of how they work, how the symbols and the knowings and the seeing the flash of the image in your mind, or the hearing the quick voice of a spirit guide saying something to you, all that. Just, it's been my life for a lot of years, studying metaphysics. I really had that interest starting back when it was years of my life. The wanting to understand about the metaphysics behind how is this all working? How is it that, this we hear that your thought creates your reality when you listen to certain teachings. And I'm like, I want to understand that. What does that mean? And so I've done a whole lot of years of studying all that, how your thought creates your reality. And then also your thought is a belief. The things you have beliefs about, that's a thought that you're thinking. And so your beliefs are going to create your reality. What is your emotional state at any given time? There's a whole range of emotions, from the top of the top, joy, love, peace, empowerment, gaining knowledge, bliss, all those top emotions, happiness, satisfaction, feeling fulfilled, positive expectation, feeling passionate about something. All those things are the emotion of it is going to be putting off an energy, which is going to attract things to you. And then you go lower in the emotions and lower down in the emotions, and like the very bottom, despair, fear, and then like maybe then the little tiniest bit higher is anger and resentment, and then a little tiny bit higher, disappointment, etc., on and on, up, back up. And so in every single emotion is also a vibration getting put out into the universe. So you're going to attract back to you what your strong emotional state is. And so the studies of all this. And so in my interest in mediumship, it happened. One of the things was when I was in Southern California, I was down there from 2006 to 2009. And in 2006, I moved down there in October. And then about a month later or so, I got involved with this particular paranormal investigation group. And then, so I started like learning about where there would be like different conferences and where people would go to like investigate. I went on the Queen Mary a bunch of times. That was pretty amazing. I had a lot of experiences on the Queen Mary. And so I went to this particular like conference, and it was at a hotel that used to be like some different things. At one time there was a hunting lodge, and different floors had different things on it. At one time, the top floor, I think there was like 5 floors. And at one time, I think the top floor was an orphanage, or there was kids that lived there. So different things at different times. So in the present, it was a hotel. And so that's where the conference was. And during one of the periods of time during the conference, I think it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. I don't know exactly what day it was. Let's say it was Friday night. One of the things you could do was there was a medium that took us to a big group of us into one of the rooms of the hotel. And so she was telling us that there was a female, like like a young woman, that a spirit that was in the bathroom, and that her story was that she had gotten pregnant. She was like the mistress, or not the wife. And so, there's beliefs out there all around, back then, nowadays, that if you do certain things, it means you're bad, you sinned, you're a bad person, and then you feel bad about yourself, you think you're going to go to hell, all these fears. And so she felt so bad about herself that she took her own life in that bathroom, in the bathtub. And so she was communicating to this spirit. And during my own, like, years already of studies of the afterlife and what it all means, and just different, in my evolution of gaining knowledge on the subject of a human spirit and how they become a human spirit, and, like, all the things. What occurred to me is, and this is part of why I wanted to learn how to be a medium, like how to use the abilities in a helpful way, is that there was no talk of helping this spirit to move on. Like, it's called different things, like spirit rescue, or, helping the spirit understand that that they have more to go, that whatever they were taught in this lifetime is not helpful, and it's BS, and your family is waiting for you, and they love you and miss you and cannot wait to see you. Whatever it takes, whatever you have to say to inspire them, to give them some comfort, and let them know that you acknowledge them, and that you have compassion for them, and to offer some words. And so when you're in that awareness, you also get sort of these knowings of little bits of information that you just feel inspired to say. You don't even know what you're talking about, but it just feels right. Like, you all of a sudden are knowing some stuff to offer to them that helps them to, like, feel like, I do want to go. Wow, thank you, and then they move on. And so I've had some different experiences with this over the years, and I wanted to share this one specific story for today after I've said all this stuff. And so, okay, so which one do I want to talk about? Okay, so this is what I want to share about. These are all super, very good end result. And for me, when I am deciding when I want to do something that's important, I think about, what is the intention behind it? Why do I want to do this? And then it's helped me to actually then connect with spirits in that format, in that way, in that realm of what I'm wanting to do. And so it's always really a beneficial experience, whether it's me saying something wherever I'm at that lets the non-physical presences that are around there know that I'm a good person. They can sense it in me, and then they hear me say some things, or how I present myself, whatever. And then they want to have a reciprocity with me. And so a really big thing to me is, like, the win-win. It's a benefit on both sides. It's a reciprocity. It's a wanting to have a good experience with each other in some way or another. Whether it's fun or funny, or like connecting, or making a new friend, or offering some help, or they're offering me help. back and forth. So, okay. So I used to do some, house cleanings, Airbnb cleanings, that kind of thing. And so when was it? 2022, 2021, maybe 2022. I can't remember. Somewhere in there. Living here in Pensacola, Florida, and I saw an ad of a couple looking for a house cleaner to clean their Airbnb all the time, like every time the people checked out. And so I went, and it was in a town about an hour away, and I decided to go anyways because I just felt like if it was the right amount of money, it would be kind of fun to see a town that's close to the beach and see the new area and all that stuff. So drove over there, met the people. They were really nice. And so they showed me the house and what she went through with me, what she would want me to do, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then she said that they found someone that lived really close. And so they decided to pick that person. Totally fine. Totally understand. Okay. So then some months later, she said that she needed someone for another house, and that the girl that had been doing the housekeeping for that first house and this one was going to be the one training me. So that girl, I can't remember her name. Let's just call her Stacy. So Stacy was there when I got there, and we were talking, and I was kind of telling her about myself, and I somehow I guess I mentioned something about my spiritual side, my interest in the paranormal, and my energy healing work, and interest in like metaphysics, and my classes that I teach, and my different energy healing modalities, blah, blah, blah. So then she showed me about how to do the cleaning of the house and how she does it and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then months later after that, she asked me if I would come and meet with her at another house that she was going to be cleaning the whole house after this tenant moved out, and it was a mess. And so she asked me if I could come over and help her with the house cleaning, but she also was asking me if I would do like an energy cleanse of the house, and that the tenant had died in the house. Like, she didn't tell me all the details, which I was glad, because it helps me to just not have any distractions in my mind. I can just go in like a blank slate and just do my thing without thinking about too much about any of the stuff that's been told to me. And so I brought my my little ghetto blaster with so that I can play a CD, my CD player with the radio. I call it the ghetto blaster from back in the day. And I played it's a hymn. It's in Hebrew. It's a very high spiritual energy music. So I started playing this hymn in the house. And then I also brought my diffuser with essential oils that are very high energy vibration. And probably one of them was frankincense, and maybe some spearmint, maybe some lavender. I can't remember all the whatever mix that I used. So that started permeating in the house. We opened some windows, and we took some furniture outside too, so that, when you get sunlight on fabric, it helps to sterilize the fabric. So we did that. So we're just going about now. I'm helping her clean the house. Well, she's over in that room, and I'm over in the other room, and then later in the day at some point, then we brought back in some of that furniture. And one of the things was the couch in the family room. And so at one point I started walking around the front of the couch, and then all of a sudden it was like that thing I was saying where all of a sudden, like, you have these knowings. I don't have all the details. It's not like I see spirits all around me every day. That's not how it works for me. It's something that usually really stands out. And so all of a sudden it just felt like there was a man. Like, I could tell that there was a man's energy there. And I just kind of had this impression that he, took his own life, and that he was really upset about himself for doing that and not knowing what to do about it now. And so I just said to him, like, basically matter of factly, I'm like, yep, it happened. Yes, you're right. Here you are now, basically. Yep. Yes, it happened, but you have more to go. There's way more for you to go. I know that you may have been taught things, but your family is waiting for you. You have more to go on your journey. It's going to be okay. You're going to get to have a reset type thing. And then I just kind of kept walking by. I just finished what I said. And I know that I'm talking to a human being. Okay, that's part of my studies, is like, I'm going to be talking to a human being right now, even though I can't see them physically. I'm talking to them. I'm connecting to them from one human to another, from one friend to another, and saying some things to let them know. So give them some knowing that they have more to go. And then he left. He moved on. He did his I say things, in my gaining knowledge about helping a spirit, I learned through what's, soul rescue, where you ask the, Archangel Michael to come in, you ask the angels of transition to come and help, come to let him, be there with him and help him to go into the light. I've said different things to different people. I let them know that, that they can find a light in different places. Like, if you go to a funeral, there's different places that you can go to look for a light. If, let's say, they're not ready at this moment, which, you can't force someone to do something. You prepare them, like, okay, just so you know, when you are ready, type thing. So you can also imagine a light and shine, like imagining a light coming from way up from outer space, coming down, coming through the ceiling of the house and shining like a column of light. And so you're doing your part, whether you understand how it works or not. It is doing truly something. So then I went over to her and I told her what my experience was. And then I think we then went outside and we talked. And she said that it felt different in there to her. And then she kind of told me more about what she found out about him, that he died in the house and that he was very depressed, and that something about a divorce and losing a marriage, or a marriage dissolving, just he became very depressed after that situation. And I feel that the possibility of that it was where he died was on the couch, or at some point in time, he decided to appear around where I was standing by the couch. So it's I find it very fulfilling and rewarding. And I really, really enjoy getting to pass along to someone helpful information to them. I've had people help me in my life, and I've been so appreciative. And when people want to offer teachings or a healing or helping me get from here to there, or an offering a kindness, and I'm talking about people in the physical world, and I'm talking about people in the non-physical world, and angels and archangels and ascended masters, and in all realms, the Sasquatch people. I learned in my teachings, in my somewhere along the line, that if someone helps you, let's say they do something for you, that their own unique skills that they have, or their resources that they have, let's say you break down on the side of the road, or you run out of gas, and that person offers you a ride to the gas station, and you say thank you so much, and then you're on with your way. You may never see them again, but you can pay it forward to someone else. And it doesn't even have to be the exact thing. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing. You can offer whatever service you have, or whatever funds, resources, or whatever you like doing. You can offer that to the next person, and it'll come back around. You're getting a chance to do that reciprocity I was talking about, the win-win. And it does matter. It does make a difference. I've seen it work in my life over and over and over and over and over again. So getting to use your own unique abilities and talents, and in the ways that you like doing, is so fun. And so I enjoy it. I think it's really a really special thing to be able to do something that's kind of unique like this. And so I wanted to share this information about me. And it's for my own self too. I mean, I want to, like, it's my own record of my life. And I also really like connecting to other people who enjoy this kind of these different topics. And for fun, if it's enjoyable to you, like, you don't have to watch, you can just listen. If I look like, you're like, wow, maybe you should brush your hair, maybe put on some eyeliner or something, I don't know. But if you don't want to look, you don't have to. You could just put down the phone and listen to my voice. I've heard I have a really nice voice. Thank you. And so Manny over there says hi. Let's see if I can zoom in on her. Nope. Oh well, I tried. And then over here is Blue. Say hi, Blue. See if I can you see him over there? There he is. He's cuddling in. He's a interesting looking guy. So thank you for listening or watching, and love you all. And let's help each other in the world, and work on our own stuff so that we are happy, and then we can be nicer to others. Okay? All right. Bye.